All right, so during the pandemic, the Trump administration enacted Title 42, which limited people from seeking asylum here in the U.S. But back in October, the Biden administration agreed to accept 24,000 Venezuelan migrants at U.S. airports, but continued to prevent crossing the border by land. That decision prompted migrants to set up camp near the southern border. In late November, Mexican authorities dismantled a migrant camp along the El Paso, Texas border, citing security as the reason for the move. Evicted migrants were reluctant to leave, saying they wanted to stay at the border to cross when Title 42 is lifted, allowing them to enter the United States to apply for asylum. Title 42 was set to expire December 21st.
The consequence of Title 42 is that a lot of asylum seekers were not able to seek asylum and to have a proper justice in the United States. So they didn't even have the ability to present their claim.
So what do they want? Immigration lawyer Maria Belén Albuja says they just want to work, but even that will take a while.
All the immigrants that arrive to the United States, they only want to work. To make it happen, we need to issue employment authorizations soon as possible. Just to give you an example, in normal circumstances, an employment authorization is going to be issued in 6 or 7 months. They don't want to be a public charge. They just want to work.
But even if the migrants do get the chance to apply for asylum, the chances of them succeeding is still pretty slim.
We're talking about 31% of people that they are granted asylum, which means that 70% didn't have even the resources or the ability or the skills or even the money to hire an attorney. It doesn't mean that they don't have a case. It means that the case was not presented in the right way.
So yeah, when I spoke to immigration lawyer Maria Belén Albuja, she did mention that in order to have a good case, there's a lot of work that goes behind it, not even including court. There's like 100 hours of paperwork and investigations and analysis. So with Title 42 being lifted, it would give immigrants more time. More time means more resources and time also mean a better case presented, in front of a judge, and the possibilities, being bigger of somebody being granted asylum. So when you think about it, it's a lot in there.
What she mentioned, like being a public charge, what does that mean to be considered like a public charge?
What she means with that is they when you apply for anything, whether it's an immigration, asylum case or just to become a resident, if you do ask for any public assistance that may disqualify you, what she means with that is they want to begin working, get a work authorization to start working and pay taxes. So they don't want to ask for anything, necessarily, as favors or free or anything like that. It's just they want to work. They want
have the opportunity
exactly.
to work. That's true.
Exactly. So
yeah, and as far as like why they're coming, like I assume they aren't just coming for fun, because to get here it's not easy. It takes money, and like you have to risk your life to get here, and people are traveling here with their kids and their family and like things like that. So I'm sure like whatever they're facing back home, like in Venezuela, because I know most of the migrants are from Venezuela, like it has to be something like, worth risking your life for. So I don't think it's like they're just coming over here. It's not a frivolous thing. It's out of necessity.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. During that interview with Maria Belén Albuja, I also spoke with Rodolfo Cardenas. He's the owner of the station here in Denver, and he's from Venezuela. He says most of the time Venezuelans go around the countries that surround it. So it's very interesting that they came here. It could be possibly Title 42 being lifted that attracted them. Or, it could just be the situation back home, because he says it's not the Venezuela that he left behind. It's a really bad situation. So yes, it's a very dangerous, journey to get here. It's a long time too to get here.